in Australia, since you
Okay.
already did it online before you came.
All right, so that's good news for our viewers, guys, especially to those who are really planning to go to Australia and study. So aside from the discount that we mentioned earlier, of course, there's a big amount that is also be deducted. Okay, so all you need to do is contact the visa center now, especially to those who really wanted to start their career. No, no, not career. Start their stay in Australia via student visa. Then get a job, and then later on you can apply for a permanent residency. Okay, partner, do you have any question, or do you want us to join Miss Lian for further questions?
No,
Yes, I think it's,
I would love to listen to Miss Leanne.
Yeah,
yeah,
Miss
let's
Lian,
ask Miss
our
Leah to join
beautiful
us,
education
a migration expert.
immigration expert.
Hi, Miss Leanne.
Are you
Okay,
are you back?
while she's loading, we have
Okay,
questions from our
loading.
viewers. Yeah, it's
Okay.
loading. So while we wait for her internet connection to resume,
Okay.
oh, she's here. Hi, Miss
It's early
Leanne.
in the morning over there. I know it's difficult.
Lian, can you hear us? Yeah,
Sorry.
there you go.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay,
I
we
think
really waited.
internet connection. Yeah.
We really
Can
let
you hear
you
me?
waited for a couple of time for you to think of what are some of the important questions that we need to throw to our special guest today. Your question, Lian, go ahead.
Mhm. Yes. Well, after they graduated, after they have taken the course, or before, let's say, do you offer post landing services like for the orientation of the students and how they will cope up with the living in Perth?
Yep, of course. So we can assist students to find an accommodation option if they would like to. I also sometimes help the students write their CV or resume to be able to
Cool.
go out and find employment in Australia, because the standards, I suppose, for how these things should be written can vary a lot from different countries. When the students arrive here, before their course starts, they will actually come to the campus to meet me, and I will deliver the orientation presentation so that they're familiar with the college policies, familiar with life in Australia, and organize their student card, and just if they have any questions, sort them out.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yes, that's one of the most common questions asked by
Yeah.
some of our clients. Of course, they would usually love to have someone who knows a lot about the area, about the ins and out of Australia. So that's good news. So if you guys who are watching are interested to enroll in West Australia Institute of Further Studies, we have Miss Caroline who will be assisting you once you landed in Australia. She will be giving a lot of tips and trivias about Australia and help you even get a job. So that's very nice. And it's very reassuring to our clients. Thank you so much, Miss Caroline.
Okay, I think there's one more favorite questions of our viewers, especially would like to go there as a student visa. During that, since they are allowed, since they're just going to go to school for 2 days in a week,
Mhm.
so they have like enough time to get a job, okay, as a part time. Miss Caroline, can you tell us what normally are the requirements that they need to prepare if, let's say, someone will going to hire them as part time?
Okay. So before they come to Australia, what we would advise the students to do with our partners like the Visa Centre is ask the students to obtain their RSA, which is Responsible Service of Alcohol. And they can do this very easily online for a low fee. Unfortunately, due to changes in regulation a couple of years back, it's more difficult for students to get that once they're here. But you need that RSA certificate to work in hospitality settings with alcohol here in Australia. So that is super handy to have. And if you have that, then you can be ready to start a job as soon as you come to Australia in the hospitality industry. In terms of requirements, I would say the majority of our Filipino students speak really excellent English, which is very, very helpful for finding a job in Australia. As
Okay.
diverse as we are, unfortunately, in terms of language, we are very singular and we speak English. So you'll have to speak English well to get around. But for the most part, people are very friendly, and you just need to go up and try to apply for jobs, and at some point, you'll be able to find a place.
Okay, so it means that they don't going to prepare or like ask for like a certificate of employment from their previous employers.
If they would like to, they can. However, here in Australia, it's not normally expected that you have a certificate of employment.
Okay.
You might like to prepare a recommendation letter if you have basically having a referee but in paper form to show that you have been a good employee in the past. But normally this information is just included in a CV or a resume.
Yes. And one of our previous guests, actually from Australia, one of our successful clients, also handled by our CEO, Mr. Lawrence Dixon. She mentioned, can you recall, Sir Junie? She mentioned that in writing a CV, you don't really necessarily have to place
Put your
like your
photo,
gender. Yeah.
your photo and gender.
Yeah.
Yes. I would definitely agree with what your CEO has said. It's not common practice to include a photograph of yourself in resumes and CVs in Australia. So that's good if you're a little bit shy and maybe want to save your smiling face for the interview.
Yeah, and at the same time, it removes prejudice or bias, so which is very nice. So they're based primarily on your skill set, which is very nice. So if you guys, for our viewers, if you think you have the skills, I think you should start your immigration journey. We have our contact number here, there, running around below. So book your assessments, check if you are eligible, and of course, we have best partners just like wives. So if you guys plan to study in Australia, this is the best time, just like what Miss Caroline has mentioned. So throw in your questions, we'll answer them as long as Miss Caroline is with us. So you guys can ask your questions as
Yeah, we have
early
actually
as
one
now.
question. Yeah, from
Yeah.
Jelay Gonzalez. She's asking if proof of fund is required for Australia student visa.
So based on the document checklist tool, you can actually, from the Australian immigration website, you can actually check what are the requirements. So at the moment, if you put in the Philippines as your nationality, and if you put in our college, WAIFS, the West Australian Institute of Further Studies, you will see that there is a list of documents that you need to provide. Sometimes that will say proof of financials. At the moment, if you do that search, it does not, and WAIFS will not ask you for a proof of financials for your application. However, of course, if you'd like to know what the cost of living in Australia will be, I can definitely send you some more information about that.
Okay. All right. So, Miss Lian, where are you? Do you still have more questions to ask? But anyway, guys, to our viewers again, if you are interested now to enroll in West Australian Institute of Further Studies, all you need to do is message us in our WhatsApp number, which is running in our screen now. So we'll give you the proper handling. Let's say because you need to go through with our assessment, and you will understand later on what are the documents that you need to prepare and what are the courses available. Miss Lian, do you have some more question for Miss Caroline?
I guess she was able to answer na po.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you properly.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Ano,
it's okay
in my screen po kasi it's loading. Sorry. I think
Okay.
there's something wrong with my connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and just like with what Miss Caroline has mentioned earlier, it's very good that apart from helping or assisting students once they arrive in Australia, they'll be also assisting them to find jobs. So apart from helping them create their CV, they have partners. So WAIT has a partner institutions where they enroll their or they apply their students for let's say internship and at the same time jobs. Am I right, Miss Caroline? So
Yeah.
that's another benefit of enrolling in wives. And even currently with this situation, the wives has been very generous in assisting or extending their support to students, especially those who are in need. So they've been deferring fees for those who can't really focus on that right now. So that's very good news to our viewers. So I'm just
I'm
doing a
actually really
sort of
excited for students to come back to campus. I'll be honest, it's a lot less noisy and a lot less lively when the majority of students are studying online.
yeah.
We also, in addition to those side support services, come under my department. However, not for the Filipino students, but students from other nationalities who perhaps have never formally studied in Australia before. We have a free weekly IELTS preparation as well as study skills class to improve their skills. For example, so that they're able to give a presentation confidently, so that they're able to increase their IELTS testing score or other things that they might not have had experience with before. So just to improve their skills and prospects in Australia and in English in general.
Okay, I have this following questions, especially for West Australian Institute of Further Studies. First question is, IELTS is required for them to enroll in your school? No.
So,
Okay,
not
how
right
about
now.
age? Okay, how about age limit? Do you have limits for age so would like to enroll?
No, I would say
Uh,
not. I don't think age should ever be a limit to anything.
okay, and last is education. How about Filipinos who just graduated from high school? Are they allowed to enroll and go to Australia?
So for a diploma level qualification in Australia, the requirement is to have an equivalent to a high school year 12. So
Okay.
if you do not have a high school year 12, then you might be able to enter a lower course, for example, a certificate 4 level course. Otherwise, perhaps if you are a mature age student who is returning to studies, instead of formal academic qualifications, we can also look at your resume or CV to consider your work experience or other qualifications that you have for entry into the course as well.
Okay, so for our viewers, I mean, if we're going to compare it with Canada and Australia, so to those who are watching right now who are high school graduate, okay, you can actually go to Australia because there are courses that you are actually qualified to enroll. So unfortunately, because for Canada, you need to have at least 72 units on your college, right? So
Yeah, like a
Australia is
2 years
the
course.
best land for you guys, especially those who haven't really went to college. So that's good news from Miss Caroline.
When people are
Some more question.
comparing Australia and Canada, to be honest, the main thing that they bring up is that Canada is cold and Australia is warm. That's the
Oh
main thing
yeah.
that they bring up. But that is a much more valid and sort of solid point, Junie.
Yeah, we have a question from one of our viewers, the Nanjay Shah. He's asking, what about Nepali students? Of course, and any nationality is welcome to Australia. Am I right, Miss Caroline?
Yes. We have a couple of Nepali students at the school. It's not as big of a cohort. However, they have been absolutely lovely. Some of the loveliest people that I have met. So yes, of course, we accept students from all nationalities.
Okay. So Miss Lian from consultant side, do you have some more clarification, confirmation coming from Miss Caroline?
No, I think we will have a great partnership with them, and then
Yeah.
we're just going to update them if ever there will be additional questions coming from our client.
Yes, and I hope we'll have a part two, Miss Caroline. I hope we can do another live stream for our viewers because
Yeah,
I'm
especially
pretty.
if especially cost of living. Maybe later, in our next Facebook Live, we can invite you again about cost of living. That's the one of the favorite topic that our viewers would like
Yes.
to know.
Yeah, definitely. According to my Filipino colleagues, what we have in common across Asia is that we eat a lot of rice.
Yes.
I love rice. And that's what's just something that has come up when I've been creating the food parcels just incidentally. I would be happy to come back to speak to your audience as well as you guys about the cost of living in Australia. As I said, it's much more affordable to come live here in Perth, and we have a much more relaxed lifestyle compared to Sydney and Melbourne, which is some of the most expensive cities in the world to live in, full stop. And perhaps after you've got some feedback from your audience, you can just let me know what specific courses or information like the cost of living that you'd be most interested to hear so that I can prepare something for you.
Okay, yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, because we wanted to know more about this cost of living. And then another one is, let's say, we will discuss more about the courses that you're offering so we can identify which among our viewers are really like qualified to apply or to enroll for that course. So hope we will have you again.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
very
is
much
there
for
anything
having
you
me.
would like to say, Miss Caroline, like a message to our viewers, or why is it that they have to enroll to West Australian Institute of Further Studies?
My message to you guys is please feel free to call it waifs because that is what I call it. I hope you are all staying safe and well inside and taking care of yourselves. If you do decide that coming to Australia is something that you must do, then I encourage you to contact us and contact the Visa Centre and do your research and go for your dreams.
Okay, just last message. Can you confirm the discount that you're offering to the Visa Center applicant?
To the Visa Centre applicants who submit their application forms before the 1st of July, we are offering a $230 enrolment fee waiver. So we will take you on at a lower cost to you at this time. In addition to that, you can also explore the option of starting your course online. If you'd like to start your course online, there will be a $1,000 reduction in the tuition fees of your entire course as well.
Okay, so thank you so much, Miss Caroline. Job partner, do you have anything to say before we say goodbye to our special guest this morning?
Yeah, we have a question flashing earlier. It's from Dan and Jay. It's a follow-up question. He's asking, he said, I already visited your office, but Nepali needs IELTS. Well, it depends upon your school. So WIVES is not requiring IELTS. So that's good news. If you plan to enroll in one of their courses, Dan and Jay, then that would be great. So again, IELTS won't stop you because just like what Miss Caroline mentioned, they'll be happy to assist you get a good score in IELTS.
Okay.
Depending on the nationality of the students, of course, unfortunately, we don't have power over Department of Home Affairs. So there is no point if we can see that the student has a good level of English, but Home Affairs requires them to sit an IELTS test or a PTE test. So unfortunately, depending on the nationality, it is not always possible to study in Australia without having your IELTS. And we will just follow what Home Affairs has set out for us as well.
Yes.
Okay,
In addition
so-
to that, because just actually this year there was changes in the immigration rules. Last year they don't require IELTS for Nepali, but right now they are requiring IELTS for them.
Oh, that's great. That's a good clarification from all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, so again, we would like, on behalf of the Visa Center, we would like to say thank you so much, Miss Caroline T, for
Thank you very much
giving
for
us
having
time
me.
today.